Hi, this is Cam. Welcome to my channel. This video is the first of many videos that I'll be posting to talk about my fibroid journey. Now, the reason why I'm creating these videos about my journey with fibroids is because during this journey I found a lot of other YouTube videos of people discussing their journey on here very helpful to me. So this is me contributing to this community to possibly help someone else through their journey with fibroids. So in this first video, I'll be going over the history of fibroids in my family, the first sighting of the fibroids in my body, and how it's affected my life over time. So starting with the history, please bear with me because I have notes. Make sure I just want to cover everything as I'm speaking with you. So to go over the history, my mom and my sister have fibroids, so I just automatically thought I was going to eventually get them. And that's what ended up happening. No, that's not quite how it works, but that's just what I knew to be. And so the first sighting of my fibroids was 11 years ago with my second child. When I found out I was pregnant, I got the ultrasound to get the measurements for the baby, and as the ultrasound tech was measuring, doing his thing, he made the comment of, "You're having twins." Yeah, scared the crap out of me for about 10-15 minutes. He left and then came back, told me to disregard, and that the doctor would give me the information that I needed and all that stuff. So later on, I found out that no, it wasn't twins. I was having one child, and the other thing that they found was a fibroid. And so that was the first discovery of a fibroid. It's about the same size, so that's why he thought it was twins. Um, as far as the fibroid interacting with the pregnancy, honestly, no issues with the pregnancy. But with this pregnancy in particular, I had placenta previa, and that means the placenta, the sac that the baby get all this nutrition from, the placenta didn't form in the proper location. So normally it's on one of the sides of the walls in the stomach or the uterus. Mine formed at the bottom, which means I couldn't have the baby vaginally, so I had to have a C-section. And so that could have been the reason why that happened. But other than that, I didn't have any issues with the pregnancy. After that, I went on birth control. I did the Mirena, the IUD, and for 4 years I was on birth control. After the birth control, I decided to just take that out and get my tubes tied because I don't want any more kids, didn't want to have any more kids. I was done. I only had two, boy and girl. I was done. And so all this time, I haven't had any issues with fibroids or any issues down there. About 2 years ago is when I started noticing like increased pain and bleeding with my periods. I started feeling something growing inside of me. So it started when, first it started when I was on my period. I would feel like, man, there's a lot of swelling inside. I would feel stuff and then it would go away. And then it got to the point where I actually noticed it laying down. I'm like, hey, look at that. That's it's a huge lump in my stomach, during my period. And then it would go down. And then over time, I would feel it even in between periods. And so I was exercising, I was doing CrossFit at the time, and then I would be doing sit-ups or something. And it's like, something's there. And it's probably related to why my periods are so awful. And so I need to get this checked out. So about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I went to the doctors. They ran a bunch of tests on me, and they discovered what the issue was. Right here. It says the uterus is enlarged and distorted by multiple enhancing fibroids, greater than 10 in number. For example, there's one 5.5 centimeters, and there's three 4 to 6 centimeters in size. So, here's what that looks like. So, right there is the top of it, and it takes up all this portion here. Yeah, there's some fat, but the fibroid, the top of it is like right here, and then it's all down here. I'll also insert a picture for you to see what that looks like laying down. So with those results, I decided to try the natural approach. I did a ton of research and I changed my nutrition. I kept working out like really hard, like more often, and I did these massages, these uterus massages. I'll post the link on the bottom, but it's some video I found on YouTube where you like massage all the female reproductive organs down there to increase blood flow and just kind of clear things up down there. I did that maybe for like 2, 3 months, and I said, you know what, these cramps are driving me crazy. None of the medicine I was taking before. I'm not a big drug person, so the most I would take is like 800 milligram Motrin. That was max, and it was getting to the point where those were not working. And so I actually started taking, long story short, I discovered I am in a state where they legalize marijuana, so I discovered marijuana and CBD helps like that. And so I started taking these where it has a 10-to-1 ratio, so 10 CBD, 1 THC. And they were remarkable. Took away all the pain, like instant and for hours. So these became my best friend. And so during this time, I also decided to go on a low dose of birth control pills. I was just tired of the heavy bleeding as well as the pain. Even though I figured out how to fight the pain, still it was like inconvenient. Like my periods would just drain me. And so I decided to go on low dose birth control. The first 2 months was awesome. I barely had to take anything for the pain. I wasn't bleeding as much. It was awesome. Then it just started progressively getting worse. Like, so, like they were helping, and it was still better than when I was off of them, but it still every month continued to get worse. And so I started feeling it in between periods now, like pain and stuff like that. I concluded that with all the working out I've been doing, all the cushion that the fibroids had inside of me, it was going away. Like as I was losing weight, it was losing its cushion, and now it started to like sit on everything. So then it became like complicated to pee because either I had to pee all the time real bad, or I had to pee but couldn't, depending on where how it was sitting. And it's the same as bowel movements. And then laying on my stomach, there was like feels like a big rocks in my stomach. Exercising would hurt either during the exercise, depending on what it was, or definitely after like core exercise, it would just ache all day. And so I, at this point, decided to have surgery to remove everything down there except my ovaries. So the uterus, I guess the tubes, I can't remember, but move everything except the ovaries. So the ovaries can still give me hormones, so I don't go through the menopause and all that stuff. And so that decision was made from all the research that I've done, all the YouTube videos that I've watched, talking to my doctor, spending a year trying to fix it and make things better with just things getting worse. And I'm just ready for a better quality of life at this point. I'm ready to get a week and a half every month back, because these things were extremely just draining. And so I'm just ready to do it. I have my appointment set up and I am ready to go. So that is my story of my fibroids. In the upcoming videos, I get into more detail about how I think they got there or how I think they got worse so quickly. And so that's a whole nother story. But I hope you guys found this video useful. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comment section and I'll answer them as soon as possible. And until we see each other again, you keep enjoying life and see you next time.